For this video, I picked 50 scores to highlight all throughout 2024, some of which you may know, and some you probably won't. Now, it's pretty tough to pick out every cool score that happened last year, and it's very easy to accidentally miss things. But after sifting through every Reddit post and every cpol video made in the last year, I think I got a pretty good list. I'll be going over the scores chronologically, starting with January, so if at any point you notice I missed something, I need you to write a long, angry comment on why I'm stupid, so I could get boosted in the algorithm a little bit. Anyways, enough yapping, let's start. Rat Race was such a huge stepping stone play for Emmerich. Not only was it his first 1400 PP play, but it also showed him overcoming a huge mental barrier. Now, up until this point, Emmerich has been choking 1400 PP plays and higher for years. Even his first 1300, set all the way back in November 2022, was a 1600 choke. When you've been the #1 Osu player for years and seem to keep fumbling something that feels well within your reach, on top of not only your own mental pressure, but also the Osu community's general sentiment of, wow, why doesn't he just get it already? I mean, frustrating would be an understatement. His choking may have gotten annoying for some viewers, but in a way, I like to see it. It was kinda nice to hop on Emmerich's stream after hours of choking scores myself, to watch him do the same and just go, wow, he's just like me. Despite how inhuman his scores are, he still struggles through tough periods, just like all his human players. Now, around this time when Emmerich was going for scores, he was kinda known for not retrying for too long. Maybe he was scared of developing a bad mind block like he has on some other maps, but I remember watching the stream he did this and it was very different. He seemed pretty good at feeling out if something was doable for him or not, and this seemed barely in his reach. As usual, he was choking a lot at the end, like every 1400 PP run for the weeks, months, and years before this, but this day happened to be a little bit different. Emmerich's hidden double time 1 slider break on Swag is a great follow-up play to his Rat Race score, being set just 2 days later. The replay speaks for itself, but one funny thing I want to note is this 1 slider break is actually caused by a bug where if you hit too late on a short buzz slider, you miss. Though buzz sliders like those are actually everywhere in the map, so it's actually more impressive that he only had 1 combo break.
Oh, that's a 1400 choke. That would have been the best score in fucking ever.
First non-Emmerich score of the video, and I think it's an extremely deserved one too. Hidden Flowhim is a notoriously difficult skill to master, but his secret box seems to have no problem putting hidden double time on high-end alt maps that very few players dare to try. His beautiful run on Lassay's Deconstruction Star is something no one was expecting of him this year, and he made it even better by no chain misses throughout the entire map.
Such a doable 1.5 or 1.6k. Why has no one else played this? I swear this is so free for people like Cloudful or something, no?
When I mentioned him overcoming a huge mental barrier with his first 1400, this is what I meant. After a year and a half trying and failing to set a 1400, luckily it only took a few weeks for his next one. I mean, this is a 1500 PP choke, but after years of attempts and only one 1400 up to that point, I'd be pretty happy to get another one too.
Oh my god, it's a 1400, right? Holy! Let's go! Let's go!
Being ranked in 2014, it has now been a decade of people pushing for high-end scores on this map. First being the home of one of the first 600 PP scores back when it was ranked with Hard Rock. In the last few years, more players have attempted the map with double time. The draining long streams and uncomfy CS5 flow aim have been pretty tricky for modern players, but when Arison got his 3 slider break run back in 2022, I think that was the first big moment where speed players realized, wait, this is kinda doable now. There are a handful of players who can make it through the first third, but the streams only get more stamina draining from there. Luckily, Emrek seems to love going for scores on these iconic maps, even if they may not be his best skill set. DJ Mag is a map that needs no introduction. Worst Hard Rock player's dominance on the map needs no introduction. What I do want to introduce is his 2000 combo Hard Rock score that would be number 2 on the leaderboards, if only it wasn't overshadowed by the only full combo on the map, also done by him. If destroying this map with no mod wasn't already enough, why not do it again with Hard Rock? Countdown 3-2-1's brutal ending has made it not only painful to FC, but just to pass in the first place. Top aim control players like Badu and Worst Hard Rock player have been getting somewhat close, as well as Vaxe's legendary Hard Rock 5 miss from 2021. But the back and forths are really easy to miss and completely note lock on, as seen by the no-fail scores feeling the leaderboard. Luckily, Henry has not only pulled off VFC, but with a pristine 5-100s as well. The path of going from an extremely revered and iconic map, where just FCing it no mod would give a permanent profile title, to someone FCing it Flashlight is hard to imagine, but for Lizuira and his many years of old map Flashlight experience, was no match for Shotgun Symphony. I mean, I'd imagine FCing the map no mod was simply too easy for him, considering he doesn't even have one to this day. So as usual, he had a pretty outlandish goal, but put in the work to achieve it anyway. Best part is, he almost missed a slider end, clutching in the FC and the funny number. At the beginning of 2024, Izzeee was definitely considered a prodigy. Him and Master had a lot of eyes on them for their fast improvement, both having less than 800 hours at the time. But at this point there is nothing setting them apart from other prodigies that came and gone before them. However, for Izzeee, this score on Deceit was his first huge break that let everyone know he was way more than the guy who can just single tap really fast and had absurd mechanics. Honestly, it's hard to say anything that makes this more impressive than it already looks. An iconic map, a beautiful combo and miscount, and an absolute destruction of the DT leaderboard. What else would you want out of a score? If you're an older player, you likely know Impulse very well. It's one of the most iconic 2017 maps, and got a lot of attention when Wowie was the first to FC it 6 years ago. Throughout the leaderboard you can find many top players, new and old, but to this day there's only a handful of FCs. Why? Well, the tricky overlaps in the intro, the buzz slider section in the middle into huge sliders, the extremely chokeable ending. There's really too many patterns to name that can kill your run. Hard Rock is such a devastatingly painful mod for this map too, turning it from CS 4.8 all the way down to CS 6.2, making consistency on any of these patterns 10 times worse. By far, the sections that spike the most are the ending with the massive full screen sliders becoming 1.4 times more precise, along with the buzz sliders that may not look like much, but require very precise aim to the center to avoid breaking. Malashevsky had a more relaxed time playing in 2024 compared to previous years, but still set many outstanding scores. He seemed to have fun playing newly ranked maps, setting thousands of new number ones and various leaderboard spots. So it's hard to pick out particular standout scores from him, because what makes him so impressive is his consistency to set a huge number of good scores rather than grinding out one particular map. Though I still managed to gather a handful of scores that I think are showcase worthy, though what you may have in mind may be completely different. Now this 999 play on Fallen Symphony stands out to me, not only because being able to farm 8.7 star tech is ridiculous, but his only miss was a silly one before the hard part, meaning he went through the entire hard part with only one slider break, compared to everyone else's, well, many breaks. Raikoku always had a lot of potential, and over the last 2 years he's really proven it. With his scores like Everything Will Freeze Hard Rock and the OG Yamiyori FC in 2023, to his one slider break on Apparition and Astral Empire FC from 2024, I really feel like he's gonna seep into the space that Rectagon is slowly leaving behind. Libera, in my opinion, is his best score from this year, showing off his consistency and nerve control to be the first to FC this 8-star beast. This is kinda unrelated to the score, but I noticed a lot of these new top plays for Emmerich during this time were on pretty damn difficult maps. These aren't your typical farm maps that other 1-digits are attempting. These are hard maps then, and they're hard maps now. It was around this period where Emmerich seemed kinda stuck with his top plays, generally staying at the same or at most having small increases. But was he really stuck? With hindsight, I feel like it's more likely that he didn't have enough easy 1500 PP scores to farm, and also had pretty bad problems with nerves and choking. He just didn't have the comfy aim sets that were ranked a few months ago. So new possible top plays for him were like Freedom Dive DT tiers of difficulty. Things have obviously gotten much better for him, with more aim maps getting ranked, and generally more difficult maps having an easier time getting ranked. But I also find it funny that the players who are ranking up now with these maps still can't touch what he was doing for his first 1400 or 1500. Not many people can say they've taken a $1,000 bounty, but Bonk is proudly one of them. Retrying too much can often lead to mind blocks that can be annoying to overcome, but it can really help with learning the ins and outs of a map's trickiest patterns, where to focus on, among other things. Bonk has truly mastered the art of the grind, with 16 hours being dedicated to this score, and the FC taking place after playing the map for 4 hours straight. Malashevsky's technical skill is pretty well known, but let's look at something a little bit different. Want You Back is a precision jump map with some pretty awkward patterns. The CS 5.2 will likely throw off most modern aim players, who are only used to comfy jumps, but it's no problem for Malashevsky. Even though there are many areas you can easily drop a slider end, he still manages to FC with a pristine 1-100, with no slider end drops, a score that I think will be a real challenge to snipe. If you're wondering what was happening in the realm of old maps, this is easily one of the best scores this year. This is only the second 3-mod FC and easily the best accuracy. The map doesn't get too flashy until the 300 combo mark, where it has a huge diff spike into a really awkward space flow aim. And even with how underweighted precision is and how short the map is, it still manages to be 7.63 stars. Because of the really awkward diff spike, combined with CS 7.8 and it being at the end of the map, makes retry spamming this a pain in the ass. Plenty of people can get to the ending, but holding combo through is obviously something else. Now, Chicken 10 is known for his SS scores on these types of maps, but I feel like it's underappreciated how much effort goes into them. These scores don't just spawn in one day, every single one of them takes genuine hard work, learning the map, and most of all, patience. You'll also see that this is not only his first SS on the map, but his first FC at all, so that makes the whole thing even more lucky and insane. I remember a few years back when Zestiny was posting clips of himself just barely being able to burst 400 BPM, and I always thought that high-end speed was such a useless skill set to learn. Sure, it definitely looked cool and impressive, but the amount of ranked maps you can apply that skill on were basically like zero. Well, apparently I was very wrong. With the amount of high BPM aim maps ranked right now, the skill ceiling for the BPMs people can play have been increasing a ton. Back in the White Cat #1 era, 300 BPM jumps felt really high, but now it suddenly feels like everyone can play them. Now Emrek, who's extremely good at these high BPMs, got sort of close to Vax's Deceit play with 88% and 4 misses. But with the Violation, the skill difference is a lot more clear, with Avaxa getting 14 less misses and a stupid 6 50s. This 1-100 hidden FC on Looking for Edge of Ground really shows Malashevsky's comfort with sliders and strange technical patterns. This map has a slider tick rate of 2, so it's basically twice as easy to drop slider ends, though Mal has still held a perfect combo. This map got absolutely cooked in the comments for basically every design choice, including that it doesn't consider playability at all, leading to a lot of patterns just having a very strange flow that don't really connect with each other. For everyone normal, this sucks, and makes following sliders in rhythm more difficult than they look. For Malashevsky, I don't know man, I guess he thinks we're all stupid. This may not be Akolibed's most impressive play, but it's certainly his most important one, because on July 21st, 2024, for the first time in 3 years, with this play, Akolibed took #1 from Emrek. It'll easily be forgotten, but I really do respect him for his patience during this period of farming for rank 1. He was streaming every day for 6 or so hours, and with a huge amount of pressure on his shoulders, he was obviously choking a lot. You could see he had the skill cap, but because he would play the first half of the map so well, but would crumble at the end when he would probably think, oh fuck, if I FC this, I'll become #1 in Osu. After a few days of Akolibed being like 1 or 2 plays away from #1, and ending the stream not being able to get it, people were getting quite frustrated and bored. A decent amount of people on Twitter and Reddit complained about how it was boring to watch his grinding streams, and despite all that, Akolibed was pretty stone-faced throughout it all. I also respect him for his grit throughout this period, and even if he isn't #1 anymore, taking #1 from Emrek is something no one else in the game has ever done, and will likely not do for a very long time.
G G
G
G G
G.
Sadly, I can scream and show my actual emotions, which I don't really have. But still, G fucking G. I'm so happy.
Now, when this first got ranked in 2023, and I saw the approach rate was 9.3 instead of something higher, I knew the mapper wanted people to try this with DT. That seemed absurd because, I mean, look at these things. They're so spaced. Though, I thought surely a few people could get good runs in, but was anyone able to actually FC this? Well, clearly I was underestimating people, because a few players did get good runs in, like Akolibed and Aimbot Cone. Unlike the plays before him, Ninrik managed to get through both diff spikes without missing, though he did slider break once right after. The score was still worth 1631 PP, but would be 1750 if he had FC'd, which would have been PB record at the time.
What the fuck? What the fuck? What is this, dude?
Remember back when I was talking about a Secret Box's deconstruction star score, and I mentioned hidden flowing being a really difficult skill to master? Well, here's another display of mastery. Zoodinator's only miss was on the jump section, proceeding to FC the entire hard stream section with hidden hard rock. What? This would be 1234 PP for an FC, but honestly should be way more.
Truly a farm map. Truly.
Now it's a little funny that Ninrek managed to get a 1.6k PP score before Emrek, but luckily Emrek wasn't too far from his big break. Save Me, the map that was his and Osu's first 1.3k PP play, is back again 2 years later to be his first 1.6k and the first DTFC.
Oh, holy shit! Holy shit! Oh, holy shit! Holy fuck! No way! How much?
Now you would think the session would end there, but no, not even 30 minutes later, he pulls out the unranked PP record of 730 on Anaphylaxis. I mean, an unranked 1700 is great and all, but it's no actual PP record. Until the next day, where he played the other rank Save Me to get the actual PP record and his first ranked 1700 at 1760. Truly incredible 2 days these were.
Oh! Yo! 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 Yo!
Oh, it's over, no? Wait, this was like the end.
Yo!
Oh my god! Yo!
God!
PB record!
PB record!
Has to be
PB record! Fucking go away! Show it right now! Show it right now!
Wait,
Show it right
wait, it's not where is it?
1760!
Yo!
Wait, someone clip, someone clip, bro.
If you haven't played Flashlight before, it's really hard to feel the difficulty of this map. With more famous Flashlight plays, they can be understood very easily. This is a super long map, and this is the super hard map. With this one, neither of those really apply, so even though I'm not the best Flashlight player, I'll still try my best to explain. When remembering things like a phone number, it's easier if you chunk it up into bits. Osu's the same. If there's some repeating patterns or there's some predictable sections, you can simply remember that section as one chunk. For example, if you have circles repeating in a square, instead of remembering where each note is, you can just remember where each square is. Now, what if instead, the circles were scattered across randomly? That would be way more difficult to remember, since it's much more difficult to turn these into easily memorable chunks. This random scattering more closely represents Hajinal's mapping flow, and is the main reason this is so difficult to memorize. Another reason is it's quite hard to predict what the rhythm will be, considering breakcore doesn't often use repetitive beats and changes often. The map by itself is already quite awkward, with only 6 hidden FCs, despite the map being ranked for 10 years, and Izzeee is adding Flashlight on top of that. An interesting note is he couldn't manage to FC at Flashlight only, which lets you see significantly more than hidden Flashlight, due to having approach circles and circle bodies visible, so getting this combo with hidden included is absurdly lucky. Now Izzeee keeps track of his best Flashlight plays in a spreadsheet, and despite what you may think, the highest one isn't actually Shotgun Symphony Flashlight, or some other plays you may know, but actually this. I hope you understand why now.
Fuck, dude.
Yakuya Gento is a 2011 map known for its constant doubles, requiring absurd levels of finger control to be able to hit them. With the DTFC becoming more and more feasible by 2024, with crazy runs from Window Life, Tama, and Forum, the player to finally do it was actually Nathan Ram, hitting the first DTFC on the map in almost 13 years. Tag 4 maps are often known for their huge cross-screen jumps and massive diff spikes, and Cyrno's Perfect Math class is no different. Only having 9 FCs to this day, despite being easily one of the most popular Tag 4 maps of all time, make it really interesting that Bjork 2044 managed to get the first Hard Rock FC. Hard Rock is quite brutal for this map, turning it from CS5 to 6.5, making patterns like the cross-screen cuts and corner jumps very difficult to hit. Cross-screen aim like this at CS 6.5 is a very difficult skill to master, so I'm very surprised this score managed to be done in 2024. I mean, this map is worst HR players' specialty. When the only players that can get close to this miss count are touchscreen players like Goink and Bennu, and they even have double the misses, that says a lot. 10 misses is also more than it seems, because he only really missed on 2 alt patterns, and Slider broke once, full calling most if not all of the hardest parts, and FCing the entire ending. This one really doesn't need commentary. Sometimes the replay is so good that it speaks for itself. Originally, the script had a joke about Worst HR Player and Flying Tuna not being seen in the same room together, but after it was finished, they actually were.
GG! GG!
Is there anyone more deserving of a score than BTMC and his 1.1k? Or 1k? I talked about Emmerich having pressure and expectations of the community on them, but is there anyone with more pressure on their shoulders than BTMC? I can't imagine grinding my ass off for a 1k, which is already mentally draining enough. But then to have people in chat constantly pick on you with things like, BTMC 1k when. To any other person, this would just be a complex form of Chinese water torture and will just turn you insane. Another point I want to mention is BTMC has been playing the game for over 10 years straight, with 3.4 thousand hours. His first 900 was over 3 years ago, and ever since that 900, I bet a 1k has likely been on his mind. He talks more about this in his own YouTube video, but when you've been playing the game for as long as he has, and you're 24 like him, it's pretty demotivating to be a competitive player when the competition is uber talented 14-year-olds. Though we are here now, aren't we? In the world where BTMC actually did achieve not just a 1k, but a 1.1k. A world where he never stopped chasing his goals despite the ever-changing landscape of the game, making it more difficult to catch up as time goes on. A world where he never quit playing Osu to focus on running events behind the scenes. You know, a wise man once told me,
Fuck that. Never give up, my friends.
Oh my god, there's no way. Is that 1k? No fucking way, dude.
Whitecat for some reason just has the ability to appear right before every OWC and challenge everybody on whatever skill he feels like, and then dips. After slider breaking on the slow section and missing once on aim, he would tear through the rest, seemingly with ease, with a full % lead over any other hard rock play at a staggering 99.51%. The combo scaling removal rework would drop shortly after, boosting the score to 1232 PP, the non-DTPP record at the time. It's also worth noting that if No Veil wasn't on the play, it would be worth even more at 1284 PP. Dare I say, this is Emrech's best clip? Awesome, man. Another score that's too short for me to say anything. If I had a nickel every time Worst Hard Rock player got number 1 on a map he was already the only FC with no mod, doing it again with Hard Rock, I'd have 2 nickels. Well, maybe 3 nickels, depending on how you count things. That's still 15 cents. But it still makes no sense that he's done this 3 times now. Worst Hard Rock player really is an unfortunate name. I feel like this is a good point to talk about Bjork's 2024 pop-off and how far he's pushed full-screen aim. He really pushed what FG Sky was doing in 2022 and 2023 even further than a lot of people thought possible. An FC on Altar's top difficulty was a long time coming, with Whitecat's famous play and Vaxe's follow-up, though the nerves and the long straining ending was a wall that neither could surpass. Bjork, however, when he was just pumping out scores in late 2024, seemed to have gained enough skill and confidence to finally take on this iconic map, to be, I believe, his first 1000 PP play, though it is unranked. He seemed to have a fiery start to 2025 from checking his Twitter, so I'm interested what else he's capable of this year. Though Lifeline has gotten a 1.4k by now, I still think this is his most impressive score this year. Being an aim prodigy shooting up the rankings from 2019 to 2022 and peaking at number 2, his aim progression sadly slowed down by 2023. In early 2023, he got his first 1.2k on Kizuna Music and some other 1.2ks quickly after, like If You Can't Hang, though in 2024 really didn't have that many aim scores to show. I feel like he suffered the same problem as Emrek, where he didn't have enough maps for his skill set, but unlike Emrek, that problem really never got solved. On top of hitting a bit of a skill wall, this would be hard on anyone mentally, especially when your entire presence in the community is based around the fact that you are a top player. So to combat this, Lifeline found that he had quite the knack for speed, and really started pushing that instead of aim, which brings us to this score. At 10.2 stars, 215 BPM no mod, and 323 BPM with DT, dare I say this is kinda fast? His top tier aim combined with great speed has made him a likely contender for matching or even beating some of Okolibed's scores, so I'm interested what 2025 has in store for him.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Wait! Dude!
This score is actually the non-DTPP record at 1289. Unlike a lot of 1-miss scores you see being boosted like crazy with CSR, this is an actual 1-miss with no slider breaks, getting 2300 combo and FCing the rest of the map. Crazy stuff.
Oh my holy f.
Am I biased? Well, yeah, obviously, but I would also be stupid not to mention this. I don't want to repeat what I've already said in that video, but man, this map is hard. Like, really, really hard. So when Emmerich has to step in to finish the job to finally snipe Informus after 4 years, I think that fact should be considered a certificate of honor for both Informus and Emmerich. This Wowie tweet also reminded me that Emmerich had no reason to go for this score. There's nothing about Satori de Pawn that would give Emmerich a clear advantage compared to other top speed players, but he still chose to grind it out. He basically completed the game like a bajillion times over, but the fact that he still cares to grind even stupid maps like this, like, I have to respect it. Quick history lesson. Fallen was, well, pretty fairly memed on for its huge sliders that were so fast that even Auto couldn't SS them. I remember 6 years ago testing for myself and seeing Auto drop a 100 on the huge arrow slider, though I can't seem to replicate it today. You'll just have to believe me. Anyway, Byac is back again with another aim play, this time on this monstrosity of a map. He's easily the best miscount, with his score being an absolute nuke on the leaderboard. The CS5 full screen jumps are really easy to shit miss even just once or twice, but managing to hit them all is insanely impressive. Here's another somewhat unknown Malashevsky tech score. Though he did slider break 20 combo from the end, it's still enough score to beat a no-mod SS. The full screen sliders and draining jumps make this really tough to act, so of course Malashevsky comes in and gigagaps the leaderboard with Hidden, with not a single other top player within the ballpark of his score. With the 14 years of experience Jian has been with the game, he's basically become a stone. I mean, I can count on my fingers the amount of times I've seen him get this happy over a score. When you've been choking and dealing with Mind Block on maps for almost as long as a Vaxa has been alive, you really build up a tolerance for frustration. With how stoic Jian seems to be, when he screams so loud that his microphone can't even register the volume, that's how you know it's some real shit. It's hard to describe in words how tough this grind weighed on him mentally, because 1200 retries over 6 months is really underselling it. So I compiled a collection of tweets from him, spanning those 6 months, to show his descent into insanity. Man, I can't even begin to understand this score. This is like SS tiers of impossible for like anyone besides Bonk. And apparently this only took him 4 days, which is even more absurd. I genuinely have no words to say to this other than this will never, ever be sniped. Ever. Like, ever. This is a great showcase of Malashevsky's dominance on high-end ult. The leaderboard shows basically every top hard rock player has given this a shot, but there's still only 4 no-mod FCs. And by Vaxe, MCY4, Badu, and Airyu, no less. The balls to snipe all these scores with not hidden, but hard rock, is just an embarrassment to anyone who think they can compete with Malashevsky on this skill set. This was actually set on the same day as the previous score, and before Malice purged everything on his YouTube channel, he had a replay of the score as the only one on his channel, with the title being My Best Score. I can see why. He was SSing until 2.1k combo, only dropped 1 slider end, and destroyed everyone's accuracy as the first FC on the map. There's a lot of strange and subtle rhythm changes that can be hard to notice when you're barraged with 7.6 star tech, as seen by the many 50s or significantly worse act that the other players have. So if Malice thinks this is his best score, I'll believe him. Bonk has had a few good AR11 flow-aim scores this year, likely trying to emulate Adam QS's style of play. Scores done this year like Harui of the Sprite Tribe and Wing My Way both have tricky flow, CS 6.5, and great accuracy for OD11. The scores I mentioned are cool and all, but I think Bonk's 3-mod FC on A does what those scores already do, but better. The continuous circle stream and the overlapping quads are the main tough part, making the map nearly 9 stars. But the AR11 and OD11 combined with other tricky rhythms makes the already difficult patterns 10 times worse. You're basically required to play this map a lot to learn the rhythms and pattern quirks, and luckily Bonk is well versed with grinding. And I just want to end on, I never see Emrek retweet other scores, so when something impresses even him, I think it's worth seeing. This pretty much came out of nowhere since Akolibet has been relatively inactive on Osu ever since he got number 1. Though it's nice to see he's still the best sidetrack day player in the game. Though this is only 1600, it actually beats his old sidetrack day score in PP that used to be 1700 in the current system, making this his new top play.
Do you guys think there's someone in the world that has died because of playing too much Osu? Nah.
To end off this year with a bang, on December 30th, 2024, Emrek got Osu's first ranked 1800 PP play, and the current Osu standard PP record. Who knew Emrek would pop off so hard this year, raising his top play by 400 after he seemed so stuck in 2023? It's a nice full circle moment from his rat race score back at the start of this video. Yes! Yes! Oh my fucking god! Oh my god! Yes!
First 1.8k ranked, baby! That's the barrier! The barrier! And it's an FC! It's a fucking FC! 11 stars! 11.31 stars, bro! Oh my god.
Well, that's the end of the video. I hope you like it, and even if you don't like it, I hope you can see and respect the effort. This was less than an hour of your time, but it took 2 months of my life to make. Creating this was a huge mental weight on me, so if you want to be supportive, leave a nice comment saying good job or something. I'll appreciate it a lot. For the last 2 months, this video was the only thing on my mind, and I was constantly tweaking it and figuring out ways to make it the best it can, but I'm finally done. I'm free.